Luck.
Recently, Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert took issue with top 5 quarterback lists in general that omit Jalen Hurts, saying, quote, "He's a dog. He's really good. I think he should be top 3, top 2. It's hard to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes." Now, he went on to add, personally speaking, Jalen is in the top 2. I guess we should not be surprised when a tight end is coming to his quarterback's defense. Of course he should. But does he have a point here? There were plenty of folks, and not just in Philly, saying that Hurts was on his way to an MVP before having to take 2 games off late in the season. So we ask you guys this. Is Jalen Hurts the second best quarterback in the NFL right now? Jalen, you kick this off.
You know, from a guy that has the same name as I do, I mean, I love him. me personally, I didn't like the whooping that they put on us last year to take us out of the playoffs, but he's a phenomenal player. I would say he's 3 or 4 for sure.
So
I would
not
say
number. So not.
I would
top
say
2.
he's 3 or for sure. I would say he's 3 or 4. I know Aaron Rodgers didn't have the year that he usually does, but he's still phenomenal. Justin Herbert's coming up. Trevor Lawrence is legit. But Jalen Hurts, you can't deny what he accomplished last year. And the big payday that he got as well. So I love him, but I would put him at 3 or 4.
So I think he's definitely in the top 3. I have Patrick Mahomes number 1, Joe Burrow probably number 2, and then you can kind of argue Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts number 3 in my book. Let's not forget how good Jalen Hurts was in that Super Bowl. 35 points, the most ever by a team in a Super Bowl loss, 300 yards passing, 70 yards rushing, 4 total touchdowns. I mean, this guy was transcendent. Him and Patrick Mahomes were neck to neck, and you could argue Jalen played just as good, if not better, than Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. It just did not work out their way. And one thing that stands out to me about Jalen Hurts is he takes care of the football. That's what I want my quarterbacks to do as they make plays. He had just 8 turnovers last season, which was by far the fewest of all those top quarterbacks. Josh Allen had 19. So that's less than half of what Josh Allen had in that mark. And so Jalen Hurts is still ascending. We've only seen 1 year of him. And so probably it's a little early to say he's second overall, but we saw what he did. This is the turnovers I was just talking about there. 8 turnovers, that's incredible, especially for a guy who runs as much as Jalen Hurts does to not turn the ball over. He only had 6 interceptions. Jalen Hurts is coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're back here a year from now and we're saying Jalen Hurts is the definitive number 2 behind Patrick Mahomes.
Well, Kansas City would say one of those turnovers turned into some points for them at the Super Bowl. Malik, you got a great take on this whole topic of conversation when we were in the commercial break and debating whether he's, forget debating whether he's 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. What is your opinion of what Goddard said?
I think Goddard, I'm making a prediction. I think Goddard's going to have zero pass receptions the first game of the season. I just think, with a comment like that, there has to be a little bit of repercussion. He's still my guy, don't get me wrong. I played in Philadelphia, but that's my thing. I've seen Jalen Hurts' work ethic. I've seen when he came in, had to sit down behind the starting quarterback, Carson Wentz, and had to learn a little bit. Then when he got his chance, he killed it. I think he really showed up. I think from the stats you guys are talking about, I hear the number 2 talk, but I think he was the better quarterback in that game in the Super Bowl. And so, I understand the debate. Yes, Mahomes has been doing it for a lot longer, more consistent. But I think when a young guy comes in, if we're just going to do year by year by year, I think he was top 2, not number 2, And I think that he's really going to continue to grow and continue to shine and climb that ladder and really put his team on the map and be the guy that we all know he can be. So Dallas, I think it was a bad comment, but I have to disagree with you guys. I think he's the best quarterback in the league right now.
I'll tell you one thing that I hated. Philadelphia Eagles, it's 4th and inches, 4th and 1.
Give you sneak, huh?
There's no way you can stop it. That improves his efficiency tremendously.
I think Jason Kelsey said 92% of the time it was successful, right?
Oh, my Lord. It's so annoying.
Malik, I want to go back with you about Jalen because you played with him when he was a rookie. I know there was the Carson and him situation, but what did you see in Jalen in practice? That maybe, did you see this coming?
Yeah, I definitely did. But more from practice in the locker room, I just saw him being able just to take command. He wasn't a look-at-me kind of guy. He wasn't very boastful, even though he came in with the high status of who he was. Just a guy that was quiet, just put his head down and really worked. I believe, watch him, he understood hierarchy. He understood the situation of coming in, having to learn and sit down. But in practice, when he got his opportunities, he was out there slinging a rock, taking control of the offense and really showing the coaches, hey, this is my team, and I understand the position we're in right now with the starting quarterback being Carson, but this is going to be my team, and I want you guys to recognize this and understand this. And so I think he really came in with the work ethic of showing them, hey, let me show you who I am, so that way when you give me the keys to the car, you already know who I am.
So you mentioned just kind of knowing who he is. A lot of times you get a rookie quarterback in the building, you're eager to see what he is, what he does. Was there a moment, I guess, that year that you remember where Jalen showed you maybe what he would become?
I think it was more off the field, just being able to talk to him, seeing how grown up he was, how responsible he was. You know, you say you want those quarterbacks to come in and show you all the tangibles of being a leader, being an older guy. You know, I think it was 21, 22, 23 when he came in. So being that a kid coming in and being able to work like a older man, like say a Peyton Manning or somebody. So I saw a lot of those characteristics when I met him and just talking to him. And so his leadership style and skills were just tremendous. And like I said, his humbleness, but also it's one of those things where you meet somebody and they're very humble, but you feel the aura, right? You're like, oh, this guy's a dog, you know? And he just waited his turn, and now I'm happy for all the success he's getting.
He's really done a great job of proving people wrong at different levels and tuning out the noise, because that happened to him in college. He goes to another school. He's just a guy that doesn't complain, goes and finds success at another school. And then if you go back 2 seasons ago, there were a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts, and was he going to be the guy going forward? Is he really the guy in Philly? And then he comes out last year, and I'm not sure anyone other than Jalen and the Eagles and that fan base thought that he was going to put up the type of season that he put up, an MVP caliber type season. So here's the thing. He does that. That leap of improvement is massive. He gets a massive contract. He takes the team to the Super Bowl. He comes very close to winning the Super Bowl. What does that do to a player? These expectations have certainly shifted. Maybe his expectations have never changed, but the outside expectations on Jalen Hurts and what he can do has certainly changed in a year's span. What does that do to a player, Jalen?
I think outside of, there's something with Jalen's of, the Jalen's of the world of, never settling, for less than your best. And, if you're not number one, you're last. He's a guy that's not satisfied by the big contract, by the success he's had. He wants to win it all, and he knows to be mentioned, amongst the greatest, you have to win it. So I think that's what Jalen's focus is how can he get over that, that next hurdle and that next hump of actually, taking down, the Pat Mahomes of the world.
Well, as a guy that, I've been to 2 Super Bowls myself, and when I went to my first one, we lost. That was a pretty dismal game for us. But I think it teaches you something. And I think for him being able to be a young player like I was and go to your first Super Bowl like I did, granted he lost, but that teaches you a lot about the moment and what it takes to get there. A lot of guys don't get there ever, like, for example, I had D. Ware. It took him 11 seasons to get there. So this guy's going in on his, his first, second season starting, doing this thing. I think it teaches you a lot. And it's only going to make him better because now he understands what he has to do. You understand how long a season is when you go to the Super Bowl, how short the offseason is, and what it really takes and the mindset to get there. So I think it's only going to make him better and push him up to that status of number one. And yeah, it's everything's only helping him right now.
Did you go your rookie season to the Super Bowl?
I went my second season.
Your second season.
Yeah.
So that's right in the Jalen wheelhouse. Going so early in your career, there's guys that wait a decade. I remember talking to Levante David, who had been in Tampa forever, hadn't even been to the playoffs, and then he finally, it took that long for him to get there. When you go so early in your career, does it maybe shift the perception that you think, oh, everyone gets to go to the Super Bowl? Like, did you have that perspective when you went so young?
I was like, oh, we're doing this every year, and then you talk to guys, it's like, nah, I've never been. I played this long. It's like, wow, that's interesting. I went 2 times in 4 years, So we had a really
brag.
good team. We were very privileged, and we should have won a 3rd time in Jacksonville against the Patriots, but that's a whole nother story.
Next segment.
But it helps you. I think it also gives you that confidence once you sit down and you kind of debrief from the season and you're sitting at home. You're like, man, I actually am pretty good. I started in the Super Bowl. I was able to help the team. You look at your stats, and it's just like, okay, I can make it here. And then it just gives you that confidence to keep trying new stuff, keep working on new things, and expand your game and get out your comfort zone a little bit to be able to go out there and become that next step of player.
Seems like every time Jalen's been doubted, he's come back better. And so
Yeah.
I think he's going to use this as fuel. I'm not worried about him as being one of the guys where the contract affects him. At the Super Bowl, we hear about the Super Bowl hangovers. The way Jalen seems to be built, the way that he talks, his demeanor, he moves like a 40-year-old man as a 35-year-old on how he speaks and how he holds himself in front of people. And so I think the whole overall question, his expectations, he's going to get right back to that big game. That's where he wants to be. That's where he's good enough to get there. And to be honest, if he gets there, I would be surprised if he doesn't win it this time.